Hey, and welcome back. We wanted to start this conversation off with our comment of the week from Brooklyn Donnay. You mentioned wanting to be the example of marriage that you wish your daughter to have one day. I would love to know more about how your own parents' relationship affected your view on relationships and marriage. What did you learn from them, and what did you bring into your own marriage, both intentionally or by default? How do you plan to be that good example for your daughter, and what do you hope she takes away from your marriage? Love and appreciate your hearts and content. Thank you so much, Brooklyn, for that comment. And we just wanted to kind of break this up into several videos because, man, just that first question, how your own parents' relationships affected your view on relationships and marriages.
Yeah, the first thing that comes to my mind was the first part where we want to be an example for our daughter. And let me speak into that. So what I was thinking is I want my daughter's marriage to be set up to win. And in order for me to do that, I need to be the type of father that she would want to be, set an example as a husband. Like I need to be that type of father. So what I'm doing is I'm setting an example of how to love her mother because I want her to be loved like that. And so that's one thing I do is I set an example by loving you in the way that I want her to see. The next is I am treating her and loving on her and raising her in a way that I want her to know how special she is.
Her value.
Her value. That's great, yeah. That's one thought I had.
So we pour into her and tell her all the time the value that she has outside of her behavior, outside of what, the things she can do.
Yeah.
It's all about who she is in her heart.
I want to be the person that before you or her leave the home, you are hearing from me the value that you have. So that you're not hearing it, you and Haven are not hearing what their value is outside of here the first thing, whether in school or at work or any other environment, you're not hearing from someone else speaking into you, either good or bad.
Yeah.
You're hearing it from me first.
Exactly. Which is who we want to hear it from.
Yeah.
The only time we go looking for finding our value outside the home is when we aren't getting that value put into us. And it goes for daughters and sons and husbands and wives. It's just how it works. When we feel valued, we come looking for more of that from
Now
them.
that we've been in coaching people for a few years now, what I consistently hear other counselors and coaches that are working in marriages is they spend a lot of time working on about 3 different areas, and one of those is the daddy wound. The wound that we get from daddies, and not that it could be like a great relationship, but there's some type of wound that will happen, and I want to be cognizant about how I'm reacting or spending time and with Haven, because there's a chance that I'm going to do something.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about how we were raised and what we got from our relationship and how we brought that into our relationship.
Yeah, so what immediately comes to my mind is the way I have amazing parents, by the way. My mom and dad are great and I love them so much. And the way that I was raised, I kind of thought and I had a belief system that that's the way all families work. It's because that's what I knew. And my mom took care of the home. She did all the things inside the home, the cooking, the cleaning, making sure the home is in good, the grocery shopping, the laundry, making sure everything inside the realm of the home, including taking care of the kids, was done. If we had medical appointments, if we had things that we need to go to, mom made sure that was done. My father took care of the main working, making sure the income was taken care of, and took care of everything outside the home, the maintenance on the home, the grass being cut, the garage stuff, anything exterior, my father took care of. And so what that left me with is, in my first marriage and now my second marriage, it left me with a lot of disappointment because you don't do those things like you're supposed to.
So it's just so. Are you done?
Yeah,
Okay.
and let me throw this one thing out there. Not only do you not do the things and you disappoint me, but I don't share with her. I didn't share with her those things.
Yeah, okay, so we never even had a conversation when we got married of who would do what and
Nope.
responsibilities. Like, we just didn't talk about that. And we also didn't talk about expectations. You know, expectations are a big thing when you have two individuals coming together to be one under the same household. And so how I was raised was I had to keep my room clean all of the time and had to do my own laundry. And like, I feel like my parents really did a great job of teaching me responsibility growing up. And at the same time, I told myself that when I'm independent and I'm by myself, I will clean when I want to clean and not a day early. Like, so when I got my own apartment, it was the best thing ever. Like, I would take off clothes and leave them there, and it would feel so good. And I would leave my dishes out, and it sounds so ridiculous, but I did that.
Leave your shoes out anywhere
yeah.
they are taken off.
My apartment would be a mess throughout the week, but then I would pick a day and I would plan to do all my cleaning in one day, and it would feel so rewarding and so refreshing. And it was when I wanted to do it. Nobody else got to tell me how to do my chores. And so I lived like that for a couple of years before we met. And so you can see like the issues that are brought in our two dynamics. There's nothing wrong with either one of how we were raised and how our parents chose to run our households. Every family has their own thing, and that's cool. So our dynamic was I would leave my shoes out and he would build resentment. Or I wouldn't put dishes in the dishwasher and he would like make all kinds of noises in the kitchen while you're throwing the bowls around and putting the stuff in.
You should have known better.
There was one time I could not find any of my shoes. None of them in the whole apartment. I was like, where on earth are my shoes? And I needed to go. And I'll never forget, he was like, I threw them all under the bed. And I was like, you what? He
That's
was
an
like,
adult move.
That's what happens when you leave them out. They get thrown under the bed. And I was just like, okay. And that was a big thing in our marriage. Like, I was hurt that you did that. And you were all upset and pissed off at me because I didn't pick my shoes up.
Yeah, adults become kids when we get triggered.
Yeah. And so we've dealt with a lot of that stuff, and really it's just coming together and creating something new.
And communication.
Yeah, just have conversation around like, hey, what do you expect me to do around this house? You know, I was also working, and so I expected to split things and do them when we planned to do them. And you expected me to do all kinds of things that weren't getting done. And I can imagine the frustration and the, like, what kind of a wife did I marry?
And you didn't do them in the time frame that I needed them done.
I'll never forget, like, the moments where I was like, hey, I'm gonna such and such tomorrow. And then tomorrow would come, like, I'm gonna do the laundry tomorrow, and you would have done it, like, that day. And I'm like, what? But you needed it done.
Yep.
You had an expectation, and you knew I wasn't going to meet it. So you're just like, I'll just do it. But you would like stuff down this resentment towards me.
I would.
And I could tell he had a chip on his shoulder, but didn't know how to talk to him about it. And I didn't have any intentions of changing the way I was. So.
And I didn't know how to bring it up to you. Like, how do I? So here's what's happening. Is I had a belief system from my past that she should do something and I should do something. There's a belief system that I had, and it just wasn't working out. And I did not know how to communicate with you that belief system. And I thought my belief system was correct. Like I thought that was the right belief system. And what I really come to know is, man, it's just it was opinion that I had that it could be different. Like we could have conversation and we can create it the way that we want it. And that just, I did not have access to that.
Yeah.
Didn't even consider that.
Yeah. So the beauty lies in communication, talking to each other about the details and the things that need to happen around the house. Now I feel like we have it worked out really well, especially since we've been home, working from home. You do your laundry, I do mine, Hayden does hers, and then we all help out in the kitchen. We kind of rotate and we just keep the house tidy, and it works out.
We do a fun power clean where we turn the music up really loud and we set a time frame, and then all three of us
We dance
just
it out.
dance and we clean the whole house in a particular time frame, and that seems to work good.
Yeah,
And
because
it's
we get
fun.
it all done really quick and we're a great team.
And it's fun.
Yeah. And so then too, if I have an expectation, I try to communicate that. Like, hey, our bushes really do need trimmed. Are you able to do that? Instead of just expecting him to do it, not sharing it. So, communicate.
It's good.
Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.